3, 2, 1, and yeah.
So we'll get back to week 2. What's your do today? Do you have to work, I assume?
Yeah, worked and then went and trained. And so I didn't train all last week. Just didn't weightlift or anything. Just took the week off. It's good to do that every now and then. Work had me hemmed up as far as being able to train. I just took off getting up at 4:30 and lifting. So
fair enough.
So just took the week off, let my body fully get back to recovered and feel good and not be sore and achy and all that stuff. So but back to the grind this week.
Back to the grind. Yeah. I haven't done much myself the last couple of days.
It's good to do that every once in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Just cheat a little bit and eat whatever, and then take a little break. But yeah, now I feel like I'm feeling slovenly and sloppy and.
Isn't it funny how your body does that? Like it gets used to being active and going and in motion and doing all these things, and then you don't do it for a week, and your body's like, "Hey, dude, what the hell are you doing? This is not what we do. We are always in motion. Let's get our asses in motion.
Let's go. This is boring. Get off your phone and stop watching stupid TikToks.
Yeah, right. Quit eating like a dumpster out behind the Winn-Dixie.
It'll be there still. Don't worry.
That's right.
The bad food and the stupid TikToks will be there. But you know who else going to have a lot of time in their hands pretty soon is a guy named Billy Napier. And so we're going to get right into this, folks. This is Hell If We Know podcast. I'm Brian. This is Chris. We just get right into it right away. So we're going to lead with the big one here, right? We're going to lead with where's she at?
Oh, you rolled by.
Did I? I missed
I think you did. No, maybe you didn't.
Yeah, you're right.
There it is. There it is.
Right there.
Yeah.
South Florida.
If only two guys on a podcast last Thursday would have said something about this game being dangerous.
It's remarkable. Like, so my initial thought is I don't think Billy Napier makes it to October as a coach at Florida. I think they have troubles the next 2 weekends, and I just don't see him coaching that game on October 6th. If things play out like I think too, but this is a perfect example of this. This Florida team shows they're the same team that they were the last 3 years under Napier. They're undisciplined. They make the worst penalties at the worst times. They don't tackle particularly well, and they didn't exactly light up the scoreboard. With their savior quarterback too, Lagway. So I know you saw more of this game than I did. What was your thoughts on this?
Well, it went kind of like we thought it would. Although we both predicted Florida would win it, maybe pull it out at the end. But we both were saying how this game's dangerous. How South Florida, if you watch that defense, they are as athletic as anybody on defense. Maybe with the exception of a couple of teams you might be able to point out, but overall they are super athletic and they showed it. Like the thing is, it's like Florida was surprised how good they were. Sure. And Florida lined up and ran ball 7 times in the first drive, and they drive it down there, and then they give them the ball 12 times the rest of the game. I mean, it was malpractice. And they were running the ball. They lined up. They were running power. They were making hay, and then they just stopped doing it. But South Florida made good adjustments. Started getting stops. Really in the red zones where they won it too. I mean, Florida was down there a few times. Penalties kept them out of the red zone. They had to kick some field goals. And you let them hang around to the fourth quarter, and you make a couple mistakes, and then what do you know? The bad clock management by Napier at the end.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
2 back-to-back 15-yard penalties, a PI penalty, and a spitting on a player penalty. Next thing you know, you give them 30 yards, and they beat your ass.
Then they blow a tackle, the guy goes 60 for set up the game-winning field goal that drive.
That's a recipe to get beat.
Yeah,
when you make timely penalties and mistakes at crucial times, and that's what happens.
These are the numbers that matter: 11 penalties, 150 yards, and then turnover. I mean, they controlled the clock. They got out. Out yarded, if you will. Florida was bad on third down. This is how you get fired. Like, you cannot lose these games. If they would have won and skated by, okay, well, that's another week or two you bought yourself. But this is it, man. I mean, like they got to go play LSU here in a few days.
Yep.
It ain't
And
going to get
not in Death
easier
Valley.
at night. Death Valley, what are you going to go in there and turn the program around like that?
Nope.
No. So
this Florida team's not. They're not very good. They've give up 18 tackles for loss in 2 games. That's good for 129th in NCAA. Right? That's
there's only 135 teams, I think.
There's only 135. It's last in SEC, which should go without saying. But
I would assume.
Yeah. So it's, and I've got some coaching nuggets here if you want them now, unless you want to talk about the game a little bit more.
No, like let's just get all of it out. Like let's get it out of our system, because I know this is very enjoyable for you. So this is kind of the floor is yours. I'm still shaking my head about them losing this damn game. It's unbelievable.
Billy Napier has played 40 games at Florida. He is 20-20.
Oh, okay. Nice and even.
He's 14-7 at home. 14-7. Dan Mullen, after 40, and they fired his ass after he played an SEC championship game. It could have been a national championship game. If they beat Alabama, they give Alabama everything they wanted. Dan Mullen was 31-9 when they fired him. 31-9 after 40. Right? So was Urban Meyer.
When he
31-9. Jim McElwain was 22-12 when they fired him. He only made it 34 games.
34 games.
Will Muschamp was 24-16 after 40 games, and they fired him. This dude's 20. He's got no shot, Brian.
What do we do? You're right. Exactly. No shot. I mean, maybe I'll be wrong and he'll make it to, the whole season or half the way season. But at this point, it's over. Like this is not going to work. This marriage is disillusioned. There's marital discord. The fans aren't happy. The athletic department can't be happy.
Well, the athletic department's a dumpster fire. Like they've got an interim president.
They have interim president.
So, and everyone knows, if you've watched college football for any amount of time, you know that presidents hire ADs who hire coaches.
Yep.
So if you're a head coach, if you're Napier, you know that when a president, a permanent, not permanent, but a real president gets in, not an interim president, he's going to want his own AD, who is in turn going to want his own coach. So that writing is on the wall right there before they even blow this season. And you're right. I mean, they've lost this game. They needed to have it because the next 3 is at LSU, at Miami, Texas at home. And then
they'll be lucky if in 3 scores of some of those games.
For sure. And then you get, I forget who it is that's after that, but that's a winnable game. Maybe Mississippi State or someone like that.
Maybe.
So maybe a gettable game.
Talk about them.
Yeah, right? Maybe. That game to Starkville for Tennessee has got to have a lot harder, I'll tell you that.
No, exactly. It's more than just Cowboys being annoying. Actually, that team might be pretty good.
Jeff Levy does a good job.
Yes.
And remember what we said Thursday. He was due and needed a signature win, and he got it. And
he got it.
Boy, was it good for our gambling picks. Wait till later.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. So, Florida, this is it. I mean, whoever the AD is for this moment, maybe should try to save his own job and get rid of Napier so it looks good. Because this is not going to get better. I mean, this is a team that Florida may win. Hell, their ceiling might be 4 wins, maybe 5, I suppose,
Especially if they mail it in. I mean, I could easily see these kids, if they get blown out the next 3 games, especially the last one to home at Texas, with Texas at home, and Arch comes in there and lights their asses up, and they lose every game by 14 or more.
Mm-hmm.
Those kids they fire Napier and put in an interim coach. Those kids may mail it in. Lagway may just be like, I'm opting out. I'm done with this, and just not play.
My knee hurts
at that point,
again, whatever.
Yeah. At that point, who could blame him? Your
save
season
yourself,
is done.
Right? Yep. Clearly, you came in. You've got thrust in there early last year. Showed some promise. Obviously, he has the arm talent, right? And he's a good quarterback, generally speaking. This is not working here, right? And then he's still young, right? He's only a true sophomore. So, this is just over. Florida fans.
I don't know if you can make this bet yet, Brian, but if you can bet on where DJ Lagway will play in quarterback next year, bet the University of Miami.
Seems reasonable because they're going to have an opening.
Yep.
That would make sense.
Bet
Well,
that.
Florida State, hell, they might too.
Maybe.
I
Yeah,
think
maybe.
Castellanos is the senior too. So,
I think he is. Yeah. They may
so
get
the
in a
other,
bidding war, and Miami wins that every day of the week.
well, because they're not going to be outbidding Miami or Florida State, at least right now, based on what I can see on their NIL. So,
And
I
that
think
transfer
they're in
portal will be
trouble.
loaded with Florida players at the end of the year,
Yes,
whenever it opens.
absolutely. Yeah, that whole program right now just gives you a bad taste in your mouth, and sort of a
It
miracle that ain't
just
changing. That's dead man walking.
it's a circle of wagons game Saturday night on them, but that's a big ask to have go into Death Valley
Seriously,
and beat LSU. If they had anybody else, you might feel better, but
right?
had
This
LSU at
is
night,
no. I don't. I mean, it'd be bad if it was LSU at noon in the swamp, alone Dead Valley at night. After this game, no one's gonna have any confidence in you. I mean, yeah, we'll review the games on Thursday. We're just a day behind here. So this is Tuesday, September 9th. And yeah, I guess we can. Anything else? More Florida thoughts in general, or
no, I mean I think we pretty much covered it. They're a
yeah,
dumpster fire, and I said again, it's a circle of wagons game. You're going to find out a lot about what the team feels about in Billy Napier Saturday night, and they ain't got
yep,
to win. They just got to
no,
show they actually play with a little bit of fire and enthusiasm because they did not play
yes,
with either Saturday.
no, they
And
just
so
disinterested,
they could go and lose by a field goal and fight hard and lose by a field goal, and maybe if you're a Florida fan, like okay, that's
right?
at least
We
they
had a
showed some
shot
fight.
late, right? Yeah,
Yeah, and they just want to see them compete their asses off, and they didn't do it Saturday. They made bad decisions, and the coaching staff didn't help them out at all, and
no,
with play calling, and you know, so it's going to be interesting Saturday. That game will be over really early.
yeah,
I think you'll know within the first 10 minutes of the first quarter exactly how that game's going to be.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'd be surprised if Florida is within a couple scores by halftime. It would be probably because LSU fumbles, gives them short field, something like that. I just do not see Florida be able to consistently move the ball against the LSU defense.
No,
Not that the LSU, by the way, they didn't exactly light the scoreboard up against La Tech, but I suspect part of that's just a little bit of a hangover.
for sure.
Although from the Clemson win, although I still don't love this LSU team offensively. I think they're better defensively than they had been. Um, they're not explosive as I thought they would be, honestly. And it kind of showed up this game here too. Now again, that could just been because of a little hangover, but and looking forward to the Florida game this week, a little trap game, if you will. But though I didn't see much of this game, just the highlights basically. Do you have any thoughts on this game, LSU in general, maybe?
I didn't see any of it. I mean, I,
Yeah,
I, I think you're probably right. I think that huge win at Clemson, which maybe we overreacted a little bit with them going in there and winning based on how
yeah,
Clemson played Troy.
yes.
They did not look good either.
No,
So who
Troy did. You
knows?
mean Troy looked good? Is that what you
Yeah,
meant?
Troy looked pretty
Troy?
good.
Yeah.
I don't think you know who LSU is yet, and
Mm,
you may not know until they get to let's pull up their schedule.
yeah.
I'm not sure they get after Florida because Florida may not show them anything either.
No, exactly. They got at Ole Miss in a
Yeah,
couple weeks here.
you may know something there, but Ole Miss is not. That Simmons kid for Ole Miss is a quarterback's erratic. He can run
Yeah,
around, but him throwing the ball is not. Kentucky got after him. Kentucky should have won
yes,
that game.
absolutely should have won it. Yeah, I watched that game. That's a game
Hmm.
that Simmons is going to have to either settle down, stop throwing picks, or they're gonna be like they have been. They're
Yep.
going to be Ole Miss basically. Yeah, kind of 8-4, maybe 9-3 if they get lucky, not in the playoff hunt.
Tell you what, look at that schedule right there and the way LSU plays. I I mean, I don't know where they lose in there. Maybe at Oklahoma there toward the end of the year.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Maybe be
Because you
careful
feel
this at Vanderbilt game. This will be a good way to snooze your way through a loss
yep.
between these
There we
two
look.
games here.
Absolutely. Yep.
Two
That's
home
dangerous.
games.
I never thought I'd say that's a trip to Nashville that's dangerous.
No one. It is if you're like a country music star is trying to make it, or if
Yep.
you're just going to have a good time with your friends. That's
Right.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're going to be in the
If you're going to
alleys
be
off
Vanderbilt
Broadway,
campus,
yeah, never would have said that.
no. No. But yeah, you're right. That Oklahoma game late. I mean, I guess you could say Alabama. Who knows? Like, um, we've seen who we think Alabama probably is this year already with the first game. Yeah, this is a pretty good slate for they don't have Texas on the schedule.
Nope.
So
Don't have Georgia.
that's huge. Don't have Georgia, so I mean they couldn't ask for much better schedule, honestly.
Sets up really good for them. I
Hmm.
said, if you're Brian Kelly, you got to that win in that Clemson game may propel you. I mean, you could be at worst 10-2. 10-2 is gonna get you in the playoff if you're LSU.
Right, exactly. Especially if
So
one of the losses, happens to be maybe at Bama or at Oklahoma,
yeah,
late. That's not going to kill your chances if you look good the rest of the year. But yeah, they got
yeah.
their work cut out for them. But that's not that's not a
So,
Florida schedule.
no, it's
That's
very
the
navigable if you're
it's
LSU.
absolutely. Yeah. So this game is near and dear to your heart because you play them Georgia Bulldogs here. They didn't exactly light the world on fire against Austin P here. I think we're still trying to figure out who Georgia, if they're a good football team or they're just like kind
Going
of
through the
run the
motions.
mill. Yeah, I mean, it's part of the game was
Or-
like delayed with weather, so you always got those kinds of things kind of throw off your momentum. But that they
It was
just
14-6 forever.
yes, exactly. So into let's see the GameCast, it was 14-6. So late. When the hell was it?
It was after the delay, right?
After
I
the
mean,
delay, absolutely right,
no.
right.
But yeah, you don't. Yeah, first fumble. They had a couple of turnovers in the first
Right.
half.
So
I mean, you don't know. If you're a Georgia fan, you got to be really nervous about Saturday
absolutely.
because with
Yes.
that offense, if that's their offense, like if they can't protect Stockton and he can't throw the ball downfield with any kind of accuracy because there's no time and you don't trust him, then they only scored 10, 14 points. As a Tennessee fan, I love that
That's
because
absolutely.
I think we're going to probably get in the 20s somewhere. We'll make our predictions Thursday,
Yes.
but I think we probably play in the 20s, mid 20s, 24, 27. We'll see if that's enough to win.
Well, this year it might very well be plenty
Mhm.
to win against this Georgia team because they just don't. They're not as. They're certainly not the Georgia teams we've seen the last 2021 season. Any of those back-to-back seasons,
Oh,
whatever. Like let's go back to week 2. Let's jump ahead. So more to talk about that game, that Tennessee Georgia game here in a couple days.
on
Penn
Thursday night.
State on Thursday night. Yep, Penn State. There's not much to say here. They struggled. They were pretty flat in this game. They ended up winning 34-0. But as you can see, it was only 10-0 at halftime, and it was, they were struggling to do anything down the field, move the ball consistently. Again, not taking much out of it really. They took care of business 34-0. I mean, that's, but you expect them to blow them out a little bit more, honestly, especially that first half.
Do you think that this is a byproduct of either which one would you say more? Would you say it's either A, teams just not being really motivated to go out there and put their foot in the throats of teams they should annihilate, or do you think it's because players, well, this could tie into the first one actually, because of players with NIL money now, like they're maybe a little bit more comfortable and not as focused as they should be on some teams, or do you think
Sure.
it's transfer portal and Austin P and Louisiana Tech and those teams have a little bit better player now because of transferring?
Yeah. Well, and also I think I think it's probably this is a cop out answer, but it's probably a little bit of everything. Also, just the 105 scholarship limit that you can't have 140 kids on your roster, bunch of walk-ons. Some of those walk-ons are probably good enough to go play at La Tech under their scholarship, whatever. It's all just academic or athletic department money. But some of those kids are going to float to Florida Internationals or the La Techs or the Austin Peas or the Bethune-Cookmans because they don't have a spot for everybody. It's like Bama can't have 5-star running backs. It's
Not
not going
anymore.
to happen. Not anymore. Like just you can build them in the lab, but they're going to go elsewhere. That's fine. Which go ahead and keep that lab cooking, but just know that you're not going to be able to keep them home. But yeah,
I
so
mean,
this is if you're a Penn State fan, you don't get too excited about this. Like you got a lot of games left. You shut out an opponent. That's hard to do. No matter who you are, what you're doing. But yeah, Aller threw 200 yards, but on 33 passes, like that's not exactly lighting up the scoreboard
Dinkin and
either.
Duncan. No.
Yes, right. So there's that. Well, Miami, I guess we're going to say they're not going to lose one of those games they shouldn't this year, like they had in the past few years under old Mario. They took care of business here. I think they might have won a weather delay in this game too, so no excuses for them. 45-3.
USF Miami Saturday night.
Yep.
Could be interesting.
That's
You'll
the
see
state of Florida rides on that game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
I wonder if USF plays Florida State.
They do.
They do?
They do.
Oh.
Yes, I'm pretty sure they do. Actually, I should look at it. I feel like they do. Gosh, man, maybe not. We'll have to look at that. But because I know they played, obviously, Florida and Miami. I feel like they played a third one, but that could have been someone else in the state. But Oregon just took all their $40 million of money and spent it on the right guys to beat Oklahoma State, $7 million of guys. I don't know how they got three. Like threes, that was generous. They didn't even score the second half. The fourth quarter. That was all. They stopped scoring at halftime. Basically, they had 2 pick-six for touchdowns in the third quarter, and then they just were like, that's good. It's good enough. They scored on 2 of the first 3 snaps on offense.
Is that good?
That's pretty good if you're Pee Wee football, junior league. Let alone you're playing Oklahoma State team who, at least historically has some pride.
Talk about falling. Talk about a team that's went way backward.
Yes, it's time to hit the reset button there. I think I know they don't have the huge bit of money, but they got Boone Pickens has a lot of money that funnels that school. I don't know. Maybe they're just not. It clearly sounds like that's not NIL and everything else is, matching their amounts. So, David Gunday's the guy that stays around there forever. But it's been 20 years now.
Mm-hmm.
We're going way backwards at this point. Maybe it's time to move on. Wouldn't be surprised if one or two at school where he moves on after this year. That's a bad loss. That's an ugly, ugly loss. If you went out there and competed a little bit, no. But you got beat almost. It
wasn't even competitive
points. No.
Not at all. Any facet of that ball game, they were not competitive.
No. Oregon could have named their score.
Yep.
I mean, they could have had 35 points every quarter if they wanted to. This Oregon team is legit. I mean, obviously they're beating up on some pretty mediocre to bad teams, but they're hammering those teams like you're supposed to do it. And people aren't really talking about Oregon that much. We haven't really talked about Oregon that much, but I think we will. We're going to know more about them, in the coming weeks. But that's a pretty impressive win. Arch gets back on track. I guess he had 4 touchdowns. Take care of San Jose State. Pretty
ho-hum.
Yeah, ho-hum kind of game. They needed it after the first week, right? So maybe this is a good reset for them. They got some tough games coming up, but that was just a nice practice, a nice scrimmage for them. Here's the game we talked about a little bit earlier. The Troy. What is the Troy? It's their mascot. So is it? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah. They had Bears Clemson that first half. Just flat out. Clemson was not even interested. I don't think they showed much interest all game until they made some plays in the second half to kind of, all right, we're done messing around here. Let's win this game. But they just don't strike me as a team that's serious about winning or know how to win or know who's going to be the guy that makes those plays to help them win. They're the most surprising team for me this year so far, and that they're way worse than I thought they were going to be, honestly. When you got an upperclassman quarterback, you got what should be an elite defense, and they just look like a kind of middle-of-the-road team, honestly, thus far.
Yeah. They thought they were just going through the motions. And I would love to have been just standing in line at the beer stand at halftime, and Clemson's down 16-3.
Yes, right.
I would love to have been there listening to those conversations.
Because
I bet they were. Oh boy, they were.
Yeah.
Dabo would not have approved of the language they were using. I guarantee that.
No, he would not. The Lord the Lord has spoken, thou shalt not swear in my stadium.
But
Well,
it was happening. It was happening, Dabo.
yes,
Guaranteed.
it was absolutely happening. Yeah, he did. He come running down the hill off touching the rock, and like they're all pumped up, and like, dude, you got to put a little more energy in your team to come out. That was just. It's one thing to come out flat. It's another thing to come out getting beat at halftime by
Right.
Troy, who has no business being on the field with you. You paid them probably $2-3 million to come there to beat up on them, and they did the exact same thing to you. You did not get your money's worth,
No.
even though you won that game.
Yep.
Yeah. So South Carolina, they continued to just chug along. This game here was a good game. I don't know if you guys see that, but this you probably didn't see a hell of a lot of it. But this is a Duke team that was hanging around there over and over, and Illinois could not run the ball the first half. They had, I think, -5 total rushing yards the first half. They got quarterback was sacked 4 times. They couldn't move the ball hardly at all. And when they did, like, they got a couple nice plays, but then it was just like sputtering most of the time. And then Duke, they made some plays, but then they shot themselves in the foot. Ended up with 5 turnovers. Duke did 4 interceptions and a fumble. And so this score, 45-19, it looks way worse than the game really was, because Illinois put it away that last quarter and
yeah, it was
half
14-13 at halftime.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're Duke fans and your Duke coaches are like, well, hell, we'll take this 14-13 going to half. We're in good shape.
Yep, they're controlling the line scrimmage.
Came off on them.
Yep. They're Duke, that quarterback, man. So he's just that's a downgrade. It's an upgrade for Tulane and downgrade. I guess that kid's getting paid a lot of money at Duke. They paid some big money, NIL money, for him. So that's a lot of money to pay for 5 turnovers and a loss that you should have been in that game longer. You should have had a chance to, win that game. But as good as Illinois, they play well.
Illinois is a good football team.
They made some plays. They're a good football team. They're sound. Both sides of the ball. They get great and always steady quarterback play. Altmaier is the most steady guy of all the quarterbacks. Like, he's always like the same stat numbers, takes care of the ball. He can run the ball, gets guys in and out of the plays on, right plays. He's just done a really great job for them. And then they have some guys, they got some dudes on defense too, so they can get after it. So this is an Illinois team that, they're going to have some challenges coming up. They got to play USC. They get them in Champaign. They get Ohio State, I think, at home as well. They got to play out Washington. So there's some games that they could fumble on, but then they get like Maryland, Purdue, and Northwestern, and Wisconsin in there as well. So this is an Illinois team that should shoot for 10-2. I think that's a reasonable expectation.
They got to win one of those games in Champaign, whether it be USC or Ohio State.
Yes, they do.
Have one of those.
No. Yes, absolutely. Right. If you drop both of those, your resume's just not looking quite as, especially, I mean, if you win at Washington, we'll see what Washington is. It's hard to say. No one's seen them play yet because they play at 2 a.m., By the way, Michigan State plays at USC this coming Saturday.
Oof,
the game starts at 11 Eastern.
Those guys will be half asleep.
Right. So that's the thing with Big Ten teams. Like, dude, USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington, come to the Big Ten. But we're playing these night games at 5 o'clock Pacific time. All right. It's not the big Pac-12 Big Ten after dark, I guess it is now. It's all merged over. It's like watching 2 WAC teams.
Right.
So here's a big game that this was, we talked about at the top of the show. Mississippi State, Jeff Lebby, given time. This is year 2, or is it year 3 for him? I think it's year 2, right?
I think 2, yes.
2, yeah. And he's already got the win that he needs to, like, say, look, our program is changing, right? This is a good Arizona State team. They're gritty. They're a tough football team. They got good quarterback play. Mississippi State, took it to them. 17-3 at halftime. They got down, made a few mistakes there, but then they got a late score to go up. Man, this is an impressive Mississippi State team. And this is how they're going to play the rest of the year, they should end up being 4-0, honestly. They got a couple games in the next couple weeks that they have to win these couple games. Alcorn State, Northern Illinois. Then they get Tennessee. Like, so they have to be 4-0 going to that Tennessee game, right?
Yes, I think so.
And then if anything's possible, I mean, then they got, a pretty good run here. Those 3, 4, maybe Arkansas will be okay, Georgia. But I mean, they got a rough slate. The rest, it's pretty bad, man. Tennessee, A&M, Florida, Texas, Arkansas, Georgia at Mizzou, we're going to talk about them, and then
Yep.
Ole Miss. So Jeff Levy's not going to win any title this year, but at least they're showing they can compete with, Power 5 teams like Arizona State.
Yeah, they have to be like you said, they have to be 4-0 going to that Tennessee game, because somewhere in the next, 8 games, they've got to find at least 2 wins to be bowl eligible.
Right.
And maybe they find 3 to get to 7-5.
Right.
And then if you find 4 in the next 8, if you go 500 in the next 8 games, that's Coach of the Year stuff. Now you're 8-4 Mississippi State with that schedule. You've done really well.
Especially if they can have to win that Egg Bowl late in the year. That'd be an interesting win for them. Boy, that's going to be a huge game if this continues to continue playing like they are here.
It seemed like the ASU it's like they puckered up a little bit. They run for 250 yards. Like they were gashing Mississippi State defense.
Yes.
And the quarterback for ASU, Levitt,
he's just a turnover machine, man. Like
he was the one that took them to the playoff last year. They almost beat Texas. Like they played Texas really. Yes, he's not bad, but he was not good Saturday.
No.
And I mean, who's going to play quarterback good when you got 25,000 cowbells ringing in your ears? God,
right. Why is that legal?
I have no idea.
Why can't everybody just bring like an air horn or something? That's just how we are. We do air horns at Neyland. I don't know.
What's crazy is they rushed for 250 yards, but it was only 3 of 14 on third down.
That's crazy.
How's that even possible?
You got to try to be that bad. 3 of 14.
You rushed for 250 yards, and you were 3 of 14 on third down. Like how can you? I don't know how that's possible. Like those two numbers don't go together. If you say, Chris, Tennessee ran for 250 yards, I'm like, well, that's 10 first downs.
Right. Yes, definitely.
It's got to be 10 first downs at least.
Alone.
Yes. And they just, they scored late. And then, Shapen, who's a pretty decent quarterback for Mississippi State. Levy's made him into a pretty decent quarterback. That throw at the end, Arizona State blitzed. Linebacker fell down. So give him extra time. Now it's 1-on-1. He runs post and it throws him wide open. Yep. Touchdown.
30 seconds left. That's it, man.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's I don't know if that's sustainable Shapen. Like, I mean, that's a great game for him. 1933, 279, 3 touch.
Yep.
If that's sustainable, then look out. I like the running back Fluff. That name. That's like all name. Fluff Bothwell.
They didn't run the ball well. They only run for 66 yards. 66 Arizona State did a good job, but Levy threw it all over them. 279.
Well, when you turn the ball over twice, you let teams like this hang around. All it takes is a slipped linebacker, and then next thing you know, your plane ride home is not quite as fun.
Right. That's a long plane ride back.
It's a long flight. Yep. And exactly, going in Starkville's not exactly the most charming place on earth either. Anyway, so like.
They got like a Walmart, a Dollar General.
Do they?
A Subway in a gas station, not a regular Subway, but in a gas station for sure.
Yes, right. We talked about this. We should talk about this again. Remember, folks, 1860, South Florida wins that game. Florida State says, we are back. We're going to beat East Texas A&M. And that's another, we could name our score thing. And is that an impressive win? I mean, no, but it is, because last year Florida State might be in that ball game and maybe lose that game. That's a 20 to 17, 20 to 10 ball game Florida State wins last year. Yeah,
maybe.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so that's an impressive looking team. We can get into this one for a minute, I guess. Oklahoma, Michigan. No, so I called this game. I said I thought Oklahoma, and you said Oklahoma's going to win too. I said 24-17. You said something similar to that, I think.
It was similar.
But this is about right. This is about what we're going to thought it was going to be. So I'm not disappointed in Michigan lost. I'm disappointed how they lost. They just look like they have no identity. They just wanted to not lose. They just wanted to protect Underwood, throw screens, run the ball on 3rd and 7, throw screens to the running back on 3rd and 14. Just do nothing down the field. And Oklahoma's like, cool. We're going to have our safety set about 8 yards from the line of scrimmage all game on either side of the tackles. So you're going to kind of run into a 9-man box. Hope you're okay with that. And Michigan says, okay, we'll do that. That sounds nice. We'll do that. So they do that. It's sort of just a couple plays and Haynes breaking one. That's the first play of the second half. Michigan just couldn't move the ball. And that is my fear. They couldn't move the ball consistently against a good defense. It's a lot to ask for a freshman quarterback to go in. It's a lot to ask for anyone to go in there. You got a freshman quarterback going in there. You don't let him run. You don't let him throw the ball in the field. You don't have any sort of levels concept of your offense. It's just at the line of scrimmage. And so that defense is just like, fine, we're just going to tee off on you all night, and it's going to go well. It showed that Oklahoma D-line is going to be one of the best in the country, like we thought. They are absolutely so good. Made that Michigan offensive line look like pretty mediocre. And then if people want to start the John Mateer Heisman campaign, go for it, man, because this kid's a baller. Like, he may not put up 600 yards a game, but he's going to find ways to win. And Oklahoma said, well, we're going to put him in a position to win this game for us. We'll let him run when he should be. Ran the ball 18 times, something like that.
Yes.
Threw the ball down the field 19 times.
Yep.
And he was a difference maker. He was the guy, because Oklahoma's got a bunch of jags really across the board. They couldn't run the ball like with the running backs at all. That was non-existent. Their wide receivers are okay. They're fine. Mateer is a gamer and incredibly impressive, slippery. He avoided so many sacks that Michigan should have got off the field a couple times, like whiffed on blitzes, and like, this kid's he's fun to watch too. And he's going to take them. If they end up having a bad season, it's probably not going to be from Mateer. Mateer. He made a couple bad throws I'm sure he'd like to have back, but he made way more good plays than he did, and he put them in a position to win with that defense too. So yeah, that's about how big it is for Michigan at this point.
Well, Venables, it seems like you hit the nail on the head. They lined up. It was 10 yards or less behind the line of scrimmage, and they come into that game and said, we are going to attack everything within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage and behind the line. We're going to attack everything. We're going to first read. Whatever the first read is, we're going to attack that with everyone, and we're going to make Underwood prove. For one thing, we're going to see if they can protect him long enough to throw the ball downfield, and then two, we're going to see if he can actually be accurate throwing the ball downfield. And neither one of them Michigan could do.
No.
And if I said, well, Justice Haynes is going to run for 125 yards on 19 carries, you'd feel pretty good about that, right? That's 6.6 a carry, and then you figure out, well, if you take out a one run of 75 yards, he ran 18 times for 50 yards.
Right, exactly.
It's it was tough. It's tough sledding. The Oklahoma defense is good, and they played that about as well as you could play it. They played it a lot like Tennessee played them last year, whereas we kind of attacked them at the line of scrimmage, and we didn't let Arnold get loose on runs or anything like that. We bottled everything up and then just scored whenever it was opportunistic, and pulled away at the end and won it. Because it's only an 8-point game inside 10 minutes in the fourth quarter. Michigan's not out of the game.
They shouldn't have been. This game should have been worse because Oklahoma made some bad mistakes. They roughed the punter, gave Michigan a first down. They would have got the ball midfield, plus territory actually after the punt. They threw an interception. Mateer threw a bad throw, an overthrow, and then is it like a face mask penalty on the Oklahoma defense that gave Michigan a first down? So Oklahoma said, "Hey, Michigan, you guys, come play here.
They tried.
They tried their damnedest to let Michigan win, and there was just that 8-point game." 11-point game, it felt like it might have been 31 points. It felt like insurmountable with how the offense was sputtering and doing nothing, that sort of a big play, an accidental bust or something like that. Michigan was not going to be able to sustain any drives. Just was not going to happen.
They didn't screen. They didn't draw play. They didn't run Underwood. Like, Underwood run 3 times for -1 yard.
And the 3 times, 2 of those were like just scrambling to stay alive.
Running around.
Yes. Right, exactly.
And, they ran Mateer, 19 carries. Now, they didn't run him 19. A lot of that was getting out, too.
Right. But I bet he had a dozen of them. I bet he had a dozen.
Especially for the touchdown runs. Those are design runs.
Those are called. Yep. Those are, you got
what you need to do with
I don't
Underwood.
understand that, man. Like, you got
kid.
just run 23 personnel. I don't care. Just
All it would have took
Just
was
go
him
with it.
breaking one run, one draw play, power QB sneak up the middle and break it and getting loose and running and getting a touchdown. You just
Yeah.
needed a couple of plays like that, a long pass play, something to get them away from the line of scrimmage. So then the run game would be effective. And they just couldn't do
They
any of
refused to
that.
do it. They didn't even
Yep.
try it. A lot of time, they're just throwing the ball at the line of scrimmage. They're trying to
Yeah.
cut. They did try a couple screens, but like it's 3rd and 14. The safety's sitting right there. There's 4 defenders and 2 blockers. How do you think this is going to go? You've got to get him out of that play. You
Yep.
cannot let that play unfold. And then like this, Sharon, maybe Lloyd Carr, like I don't know, like he's just averse to like they punted on their plus 38 when they
Yeah.
have a kicker
That's a terrible
who
punt.
can kick 55-yard field goals.
Yep.
He was 5 for 5 from 50 plus last year. Now he did miss a 33-yard or whatever, but that was later in the game. I don't understand punting there because he kicks in the end zone, so you get a net of 13 yards.
Right.
What'd you gain there? Just go
But you
for
don't
it on
get-
4th down if you want. Just throw the ball down the field. But if it gets intercepted, hell, it's like a punt anyway. That's just it's a bad call. Bad.
Talking about the Oklahoma offense, Mateer's not long to be healthy. The way if they have that same game plan all year, because Michigan roughed him up.
They hit
him
hard. Yes, they did.
So you're not going to play the whole year and run him like that. He had 19 carries. The next Oklahoma closest was 9.
9, yeah.
So that's way too many. I understand doing it for like maybe it's a game plan, but you can't go into every game thinking we're going to lean on the defense and we're going to run our quarterback 19 times. He's not going to survive the season. It's not going to. He will be hurt.
That's funny. Michigan's like, well, we don't have a backup quarterback, so we can't run our quarterback. Well, Oklahoma doesn't exactly have, Josh Heupel on the back, sitting behind Mateer.
You just no. You go into the game to try to win the game.
You try to win the game.
If that means running your quarterback 19 times, well, damn it, I guess we'll have to do. But it's just not. It's not sustainable.
No, it's not. Absolutely. Like in Venables, I guess this probably played into it. He needed this win. He could not afford a loss. You got mediocre probably Michigan team when you got the schedule they have coming up that you can't afford any like we probably should have won this games. No, you have to win all these games that you're favored in, and they did just that. I mean, I think they have a lot of flaws, Oklahoma, offensively. So I don't see them in a race to win the title, SEC title. But stranger things have happened. You got a quarterback like Mateer, man, he can will you to a lot of those games that are 50-50 balls.
Right, for sure. And if you're a Michigan fan, I mean, I think you're taking it the exact way you ought to take it, which is, this is as bad as Underwood's ever going to be. Mm-hmm. We understand he's too young. And we said this on Thursday. Yes. It's a lot to ask for a freshman quarterback to go in somewhere like that and win a ball game. And we just watched Arch do it the weekend before. Yep. Now, if you're a Michigan fan, you're like, damn it, this game was a year too early. Yeah, give Underwood a whole season, another whole off season of practice, a bowl game, a big bowl game, and we play that game next year. You feel a lot better about it if you're Michigan than you did going in this year with quarterback play. So
we get Oklahoma and Ann Arbor next year, so that's
there you go. So that's
layout. Yeah, that
sets
better.
up way better. Way better.
Absolutely right. Yeah, I just Sharon has some things to work out. He took a timeout in the 3rd quarter. Late in the 3rd on a 2nd and 1 because he didn't like what the set looked like. Who cares? It's 2nd and 1. Yeah. What are you gonna do if something bad happens? It's 3rd and 1.
Yeah, the only way you take a timeout is if there's too many men on the field, like too many players, or if you've lined up where you're offsides, or where you see an impending penalty if you snap the ball.
Even still, it's 2nd and 6 if you have a false start, or if you're got someone in a lined up alignment. Legal procedure, whatever.
2nd and 1's a lot easier to convert 2nd and 6, especially in that ball game for Michigan.
And then 2 plays later, maybe it's the next play, they had to take a second timeout because they didn't get the play in on time. And if you can't get the play on time, I don't care if John Mateer or John Elway's your quarterback, you got to get the play in on time.
Right.
Like to give them time to get set. And I saw this as soon as they're still huddling and there's 10 seconds on the play clock. This is not going to go well. They're not going to be. They're still putting guys in motion with 4 seconds left and 2 seconds left. So, there's 2 timeouts right there they could have used. Right. I mean, it didn't matter in the end, but like this is the kind of things that Michigan fans are worried about his conservative nature with running the ball and not using you buy yourself a Maserati, you put bicycle tires on it. Okay, well, I don't know why you do that, but and then also like you're punting on fourth down when you should be going for it, or kicking field goals with your All-American kicker. You're taking bad timeouts, time management. I don't know if it's going to work out. Maybe it's too early, but like he's just showing some things like people are like, this
Well,
may not be,
he's
this may be long.
he's brand new for it though. I mean, he's got a Heupel did some weird stuff too first year. Just some
Yeah,
odd. What are you doing? Like timeouts and things like that. You're like, what the hell are you doing? Like I seen him waste a
right.
timeout on a play that was clearly not going to be overturned, and you waste it.
Right.
Instead of saving
Right.
the time. It's just things that happen. I mean, if this stuff, Billy Napier is a perfect example. He's been
Yeah.
this is your what 4 or
Four.
5 4 for
Four
Billy
for
Napier,
Napier. Yep.
and
Yep.
you see the clock management he did at the end of that USF game. That's a problem because
That's a
he ain't
fireball
learned.
offense in itself.
Yes,
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. It
So
shows you
for
don't
more,
have it control.
right. Yeah,
It's
hopefully he learns from it.
he gets a lot of goodwill for beating Ohio State and Alabama. That's
Well, that
if
would do
if
it.
he would that helps to have won those games last year after how bad they looked. Most likely, he won the USC game, Ohio State, and Alabama games. That's get you some goodwill, a little bit of breathing room. But
Yep.
you're gonna have to like put things together because they don't have 2 home games back to back all year. It's alternating home road,
Oh,
home
that
road,
sucks.
home road all year. All year. There's 2 back to back road games in November, but the rest there's only 1 home game at a year. So they're gonna have to learn to be a road team, which maybe they're shooting for a year, maybe 2 years from now when Underwood's an upperclassman to maybe run a title. But man, it's just gonna be tough, right? Just if you're gonna it's the game plan, you're gonna have to
He's got to get better.
hope
It's got to get better.
it's gonna have to get better, man. It's gonna have to get better. Maybe so it's interesting. Rowan's going to miss the next 2 games. These are 2 suspension games coming up. They play Central Michigan this weekend and at Nebraska next weekend. So
Okay.
it's going to be interesting to see what the offense looks like with
And Nebraska's
Jerome not
tricky.
there. Yes, it is absolutely tricky.
Tricky.
I'm not really. I have to think more about that. Nebraska really beat the hell out of Akron, but they looked awful against Cincinnati. They couldn't
Right.
stop the run, couldn't run the ball. We'll see more about them this weekend, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, we spent a lot of time on Michigan, but that's
Yeah, that's
we'll
fine. That's the
see.
biggest game of the weekend. So
Yeah, it was. Yeah, absolutely. The most obvious game of the weekend that was going to play out like this, and maybe they scored more than one thought. I don't know what the over under was. Iowa State 16, Iowa 13, and the most
it
Iowa
was
State Iowa
65.
game.
Over under was
it really?
65. Blew right on past that, didn't they?
65.
Yep.
They could have played 10 quarters. They're not going to get 65.
No. I thought you were talking about Baylor SMU. I'm sorry.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
this
Sorry. Oh,
this
yeah,
was
yeah.
40.
Sorry.
This was like 41, 42.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
That seems high, even really. Iowa's just, if you said it well the other day, read the room, Kirk. It's
Yeah.
time to either just go hire the most spazzy, just basketball on grass, whatever kind of offensive coordinator would get those kinds of kids play, or just go, like I said earlier, just do 23 personnel and just run the ball every damn time and just run, punt, and just hope for the defense to make a play. That's all
what
you can
Iowa
do, man.
needs? Iowa, and rest in peace. But Iowa needs someone like Mike Leach.
That's
to
who
call
I was
offense.
thinking of when like some crazy person just to go
Yes.
nuts at that school, right?
Yep.
Because now they're year 26, and like this looks what they look like in 2001,
Yeah.
in 2017, 2024. I tell you what, this box score is funny. How do you throw the ball 24 times for only 83 yards? How do you do that? That's hard to do.
That's a lot of bubble screens.
That's a lot of bubble screens for 1, 2, 3 yards.
That's a lot of backs out of the backfield.
Yeah, right. I mean, the longest rush was 10 yards, or 13 yards. Sorry, that was Gronkowski. He ran the ball 16 times. So you got him touching the ball 40 times. Running 16. I mean, I don't know that's going to win you in games. Like I thought he'd be better than this. Honestly, I thought he would. It's just It's not pretty. It looks like it's Iowa though. So, and then Iowa State, man, they just find another way to win. Ruckel Becht, kid's a grinder, man. It's a good football team.
Yeah. They went. I don't know how they don't how they don't blow Iowa out. We call them Thursday. It was like, man, they'll cover that spread easy, and then they just
Yes,
go in there
right.
and fumble around and la di da and almost have Iowa upend you.
Yes,
That's
right. Yeah, seriously, you're one slip play, you're one punt
yep.
return, one fumbled punt from getting beat by a kind of a bad team. Iowa's going as good defense. Just you know what they are. They know who they are defensively. It's who they are. They're always going to be good. I don't care who the defense coordinator is. Offensively, it's the same thing, but they try to get better.
They have no
They
idea who they
can't.
are.
They have no idea who they are. So they should just let Patterson run the ball 60 times a game and just run, punt,
Yep.
run, punt, play field position. Hope you get a short field goal your way to a win if you want to. It's 9-6. It's 1997, and somewhere Lloyd Carr's really excited. It's Puntosaurus.
Off tackle, screen pass, punt.
Exactly right. Yes,
That's
right.
our play sheet.
Yeah, they get crazy. They do stretch once in a while.
Yeah.
They
toss.
They actually did run like a really slow mesh RPO. It was like the most pathetic thing. Like you clearly don't run this or whatever to know what you're doing. So just run the ball like an I formation, toss, sweep, whatever. Just do Tecmo Bowl. You get like 7 plays. That's all you need. You can't master those, let alone the whole playbook. So, oh, that's it. All right. So the game you thought I was talking about, that was, they blew
That's
right past that. That was a fun game. What did we say? We said, look, Baylor's a good football team. Dave Aranda's a good football coach. Don't be surprised. He goes in there and beats SMU, a good football team. Sure enough, they win that game in OT.
Yep.
That was a good game. I watched flipping back and forth to that one in Illinois again. I had 4 TVs going, or 4-on-1 TV going. So that was the highlights of those 2 games. So, yeah, Baylor, man, maybe we're not giving them enough credit. Like,
well, they played Auburn tough. They played Auburn tough. I mean,
absolutely.
And then who we got here? We got SMU. Okay, that's a win. So Arizona State, you feel a lot better about Arizona State
absolutely.
now. Watching them play Mississippi State.
This is not scary at all.
Yep. Nope, not anymore. Kansas State, that's a winnable game.
Pretty like at TCU. I've only seen them play once, and they looked pretty good. But that was that was a pretty
terrible.
Bad. Who was it?
North Carolina.
North Carolina team. That's right.
Yeah,
that was bad. At Cincinnati, so this guy, I tell you what, the team no one's talking about, they should. Utah is just hammering people.
This
is a good football team right here.
Yep. You don't want, if you make the playoff, you don't want to see them on your side.
No, and especially you better hope they don't get a home game somehow, because that's a miserable experience for anyone, I'm guessing. But yeah, so this team here, the Baylor team, I'm not saying they're going to win it, but they could make a run. If they're still in the hunt in November, I wouldn't be surprised. For that conference, yeah.
Nope.
So,
I mean, if 10-2 is the mark to get in the playoff, you could. I mean, Baylor. The only loss they can have is Utah, and you got to run the table.
Right.
They probably are in.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, and if the Utah game especially is close and like they play well like against Auburn, I think they might be inclined to put them in there.
Get in. They'll definitely be in when it goes to 16.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, they're chewing for sure. Absolutely. All right, roll down. It goes all the way back. Not much to talk about here. Kentucky Ole Miss is a pretty good game. Much as anything, the betting people who were betting on that weren't real happy. You see, they picked a field goal late. They covered the 8.5. It was 30-20 with 4 minutes to go.
Tiffany even said so after that's that's funny. But if you're the coaches, you understand it, because you got to have both. So if you get one, you get one. That was
smart to do it. Yes. So Kentucky did the right thing. You have to do it right. Get the field goal, try to onside kick.
Yep.
For the gambling people, not so much. That wasn't a great position to be in. But we talked about it earlier. But Ole Miss is just, I don't know. They're just too erratic think that they're going to be consistent and not drop some games they shouldn't. Now, this is a game that they were supposed to win. They did win. But, Simmons, again, like, he's just too sloppy with the ball. Like, he's if he's going to throw the ball, they just need to get the ball. Keywan Lacy, just let him cook, man. Like, this kid is a football player. He's going to play the next
Yes,
level.
he is.
I really think he's a good football player. And so, I don't know what Kentucky is really. They're probably just 7-5, 6-6
yeah,
Kentucky. They're Kentucky,
probably.
probably.
They're Kentucky.
Right?
That's Mark Stoops football right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's they're gonna. And once Calzada got hurt, then if you're a Kentucky fan, you didn't feel good about it at all after that.
Just
You
go
had
home.
no shot. Yeah, yep, you had no shot.
No, not at all. So we'll see. Ole Miss. They're gonna they're gonna have to be way more impressive than they were that game. But they won an SEC road game, so there's that. So that's a tough thing to do, right?
What do we say? 70% of the time, you're a loser. You're a loser when you go play someone on their home field.
Absolutely, right. Whatever. Bama covered that spread.
Same with the next game.
Same with the next game. Is there any takeaway from that Tennessee game? Nothing.
Not a no one got hurt. That's the only takeaway. No one got hurt.
That's the only thing, right?
Wide receivers made plays. Yep.
Most points since the 30s or something, or ever, was it?
Yeah, it's a school record.
Okay.
Heupel's responsible. They've scored 70. Maybe it's good enough for third. I'm not sure, but they've scored 70 like 5 times in program history, and Heupel has like 3 or 4 of them. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah, you didn't learn anything. It just that no one got hurt, and that's the main thing. And now they tuned it up.
Ready for Georgia.
We'll see what happens Saturday. Yep.
Absolutely. All right. Indiana took care of business. Texas Tech just lighting up the scoreboard. We don't know anything about them because they haven't played anybody yet. And then again, we talked about Utah. Oof, that's a good football team. I know Cal Poly's not, but this is a good football team. Utah's it should be ranked way higher than 25th. I'll tell you that. So, it's a good team.
It will be. That'll sort itself out.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So I think, is that all the games? Did we miss any?
I don't think so.
Games that we is there SEC games that there's just only one SEC game that was there's one more game I was thinking we were going to talk about. Ohio State, we didn't learn anything.
Talking about the rankings there. Did you hear the woman that she moved Florida up 2 spots in her AP poll?
No.
After Saturday,
I saw someone gave Iowa State, they ranked them 3rd.
She's like, they did an interview with her. They asked her about it, and she's like, "Oh, it's just fun, and then it doesn't mean anything." Like, come on! And how do you get a vote in an AP poll?
Right. It should be only people. Those people don't watch most of the games. They're usually a beat writer for one school, or they cover maybe broadly a conference. And they don't watch all the games. It's people like you and I that do the podcast. These are the people who should be voting if you want somewhat accurate, realistic voting.
For sure. It's not the coaches poll. I think coaches watch these games. They have someone that does it and make my top 25 for me. I don't care what you put on there.
Exactly. Right. Just copy someone else's that looks close,
So her name is Haley Sawyer. She's with SoCal News. So there you go.
Okay. She's busy at the beach.
Uh-huh.
She doesn't see the games. She likes the colors, probably. Yeah, no, I don't mean, just, that's idiotic. What are you doing? How do you get votes? I want to vote.
Yeah, I'll take one. I can't be any worse than that.
No, absolutely not. So
what I would do is when I send in my ballot, it'd be Bammer. It wouldn't be Alabama.
Yes. No. Right, Bama. Yes, exactly. Yeah, Ohio State would just be, like Buckeyes suck, or all small print. You'd know where Florida
is because it'd be Jort Nation.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if you heard this. There's the press release. Florida's changing their mascot from the Gators to it's just going to be called the Florida Men, and it's going to be a silhouette of just a white guy with a beautiful mullet and jorts, of course, and a wife beater and 2 Bud Diesels in his hand.
That's what I'm
talking
talking
about.
Stains on his
shirt, and like he has. I guess you could have like a little alligator, like a foam hat or something maybe on with it, but
no, he'll have that alligator like the game. You put your finger in there and you push the tooth down. And you push the wrong tooth down, the mouth closes. He'll have that one.
He just have that on his head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Florida has become Florida man. They're no longer the Gators, and this is more fitting. At least until Napier leaves and they turn things around. They rehire Steve Spurrier or something. I don't know what they're going to do, but
I hope they don't make a good hire.
Alex Golesh. They should.
They could. I do not want that to happen. I do not want that to happen.
No, right. It'd be funny if they offered, he turned him down. I'm gonna stay down here. We beat you guys. We're a better football program right now.
I think they would have to go pretty down the list to actually call him and offer him anything. I mean, it's Florida. The last thing you want to do is hire a mid-major coach because they just got through doing that and they see how it's turning out.
Exactly.
So I can't imagine them. I can't imagine an AD having the cojones to tee up another mid-major school, even though they did beat you. But
right,
another mid-major school, they're going to go after a big fish. Just do they have the money to get them?
Right. But they've hired some real duds, Ron Zook and Jim McElwain, and the one that should have worked out. I was surprised it was Muschamp. I thought that would be a better hire. Like they couldn't move the ball. He didn't like recruiting. That one and the other one who's Dan
Mullen. So
Mullen. Thank you. Yeah.
And Dan Mullen didn't want to recruit either, but now you don't have to recruit. You just have to have money.
Exactly. Right.
Just get money, hit the portal. That's what Lane Kiffin's doing. That's all Lane Kiffin is doing.
Yes, seriously, that's what he needs to do.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin's making that roster with money and transfer portal, a little bit of recruiting, and he's fielding a good team every year.
Yeah, absolutely. This is how you should do it. That's realistic, right?
Yeah.
Realistically, that's how they're going to do it.
That's just college football.
So. Yeah. All right. So picks time. Talk to me. How's Chris's picks this week? How'd we do?
Ooh, Chris was 4-2 this week.
Chris is going to retire now. That's a big win.
He could. So now, remember, we started off with $140. We ended the weekend with $146.43 in the bank, so we are plus $6.43 now.
Ooh, righteous bucks. Okay.
Overall, we're still down a little bit because we spent $30 on the college football parlay at the first, and we spent $15 on the NFL parlay to start. Those are all done, so we're still 30 in the hole there. That is what it is, or 45. So we'll recover that. But yeah, 4-2 this past weekend. OU over Michigan. Mississippi State over ASU, got us $64 off of that. Arkansas beat Arkansas State. Missouri beat Kansas. The two losses, of course, is UK and Ole Miss. And it's also Florida to USF, which I'll gladly donate $20 for that. A-okay
Best
with
money
me.
Ever. Best money invented. Right.
So through 2 weeks, we are 8-2. That's an 80% winning percentage, well above the mark over the last 5 years. We'll see how it goes when we get to conference play. But so far, we are rolling right along. So big weekend coming up. I've already made the bets for next Saturday. Okay. So Thursday, we will go over all those and get thoughts on that.
Absolutely. Oh, one game that I wanted to just briefly touch on, who I'm a little surprised at so far, is Mizzou. That might be a pretty solid football team. They beat who I think is a good Kansas team, and they took care of. I mean, they gave up some points, but that was Kansas got up like 21-0 or 21 points the first quarter, and then they only gave up 10 points the rest of the game. And one of those touchdowns was on I think a defensive score, in fact, too. So Bo Pribula was a Penn State kid,
good quarterback,
good play there. If he plays like this, dude, Mizzou's. They're going to be a good football team. I'm going to bring up their schedule just real quick because we don't talk a lot about
system.
Them. Yes,
their system. Drinkwitz runs there is. I mean, it's spread. It's throwing it around. It's running. It's numbers. It's like Heupels. It's everything. It's everything. Kurt Ferentz at Iowa does not want to do.
Yes, so right here is all you need to know about Drinkwitz. Went to 4 or 5 on the fourth down.
Yeah. Yep.
He does not.
Missouri, man.
If the metrics say, we should maybe go for it, we're going to go for it.
Let's do it.
And that's how you're going to win. You're Missouri, exactly. Right. So, they have a manageable schedule, too, from what I remember seeing. So they win that game. They get South Carolina. South Carolina, that's a good football team, but it's in Columbia.
They could win that.
Absolutely. They get Alabama at home. That's winnable from what we've seen so far.
Yep.
tough game at Auburn, probably. I tell you, this damn Vanderbilt went and beat the piss out of Virginia Tech, by the way.
Yep. Yep. And
And
Thursday
then,
we called that one, so I wouldn't be surprised to
yes,
see
it
them going to
did.
beat Virginia Tech.
Nope. I didn't expect it to be like that, but Diego Pava. Then A&M, that's, we don't know who they are just yet. Mississippi State, again, that's a team that they're certainly equal with, nothing else. At Oklahoma's going to be tough, right? And then at Arkansas, that's a winnable game. This is a Missouri team that, you count it up, there's a couple losses probably in there, the Auburn and maybe Oklahoma. I could squint and see, a 9-win team there.
I could too.
Honestly.
Yeah, I could see them if they're able to knock off South Carolina at home. I could easily see them going into that Auburn game at Auburn undefeated.
Yeah, right.
Because if they're good enough to beat South Carolina at home and Lenore Sellers, they're good enough to beat Alabama at home with that quarterback play they're getting.
Absolutely right. So they don't play Texas.
Nope.
They don't play Georgia. They don't play you
Tennessee.
guys.
Nope.
This is a very favorable schedule that people could quietly sneak into this playoffs and be a good football team and kind of be dangerous, honestly.
They can get to 10-2. They can get 10-2.
They should be in. Yeah.
Absolutely. You're going to have to steal one of those at Auburn's, A&M's, and at Oklahoma and at Arkansas. Arkansas's low key. Talk about a quarterback no one talks about. That's Taylor Green at Arkansas. That kid is amazing.
He's still all right, isn't he? They only talk about Arkansas because they look like they're going to be a disaster. Sitting there 2-0 though.
Mm-hmm.
So they play end of the year. So that's that could be it's Arkansas and Mizzou, the two teams we're going to have to keep an eye on the rest of the season because they may be better than we really gave them credit for. I think that's probably a good Kansas team too. Actually, that's a team that could make some noise in that conference as well. So, all right, what else? So we got anything else? We got the picks. We did the rundown. I think that's all we got for the recap.
We're good.
Week 2. Week 2 recap. So we'll be back Thursday, September 11th. Is that right? September 11th. Yeah, September 11th. We'll do.
Okay, I see that face, and I see that little hamster in your head running with that wheel.
We gotta stop spinning that wheel. All right, folks. Before we get canceled, before this show gets off. Thanks for watching.
Show like 4.
Share the show if you like this.
Like, nope.
It's like, nope, this is it. So you can find us on Spotify, YouTube. We're going to be on Facebook. We're on the Instagram. We're trying to get the TikTok. That's a pain in the ass. So, find one of them. 4 out of 5 is fine. Just pick one. We'll be on iTunes eventually as well, too. So, folks, thanks for joining us. We'll see you in a couple nights. Have a good week.